recording. So,
we're really close,
oh my God,
guys.
we are so close. Aaron said that we can't film in 2 separate beds anymore because it's just not good for the focus of the camera.
I want to preface with, I'm so sorry I look like this, but something fucking went through my skin the past couple days, and it's been unreal. Like it's been a battle with this.
I just woke up from a nap. The mattress just slid from underneath us. Did you feel that?
felt that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I just want you guys to know, like, we are maybe going to preface this with the podcast that we tried to make 4 days ago. And in it, we were like, yeah, we're definitely going to pod tomorrow when we're feeling better. And our energy still hasn't come back.
Yeah,
so
have we ever
it's
felt better?
4 days later. We're doing all right. We leave tomorrow. We've been in Colombia for 17 days now. And a lot has fucking happened. So I don't know if we're going to debrief all of that or just dive into our childhood trauma. So here you are for the ride.
I feel like we got to debrief the entire trip when we're back.
Okay, first we're going to show you guys some Colombian food.
Okay, so this is
I thought it was a lulo, but I don't actually know what it is. So they were selling them like on the street, and my abuelito was like, have you ever tried one of those? And I was like, no, like I've never seen that in my life. And he was like, let me get you a good bunch.
Okay, wait, so how do I do it?
I
So-
tried one.
Sophia said it tastes like natural.
I do.
Sophia said it tastes like natural Sour Patch. I also think it's so fucking stupid that I don't have a microphone.
The
And Andreas does.
The flavor, because I'm just a word of wisdom. The flavoring is good. The texture made me want to throw up.
Okay, so here's what you need to know before you try. So you bite the skin, and then you have to peel off the skin and eat the fruit. There's a huge seed inside, so you kind of suck on it until you're done.
So get
So-
an ASMR of it.
So I don't know if you guys can even see that. Not the skin on the bed. Wow. Show them.
Pop it in your mouth. I nearly gagged when I first had it.
Right.
It's kind of good though, huh?
The flavor is not bad. The texture is... Yep.
Fucking sour as a fuck.
It's like a natural Sour Patch Kid. It gets sweeter the more you eat it.
Because it really sticks to your fucking mouth.
Yeah, it's gross.
You have to suck on it. You have to suck. Okay, hand me the bag of Pandebonos because I just want to show them what the fuck I've become.
Sophia has become a Pandebono.
I have become a full Pandebono because honestly, guys, when I visited Colombia last, when my tío and tía found out
Lisa's
that
about to puke. Lisa's about to puke. She's choking.
when they found out that Pandebonos were my favorite Colombian, like pan dulce or whatever you'll say, they bought me like a huge bunch of Pandebonos that I had that whole week or like 3 weeks that I was there, filled. It oozed out with the guava paste. So it was just fresh and good, and I don't know where the hell they got it. I have not managed to find a Pandebono
I'm going to tell you this,
good.
guys. And this is probably just me being idiotic and having weird taste buds, but all the Pandebonos I've had in America have been 10 times better. And that's because, let me preface, the cheese here is different. The way that they do their milk, they don't do something, what is it? Pasteurize.
They don't pasteurize the milk.
Something like that. So it's a lot more like a goat milk kind of taste almost. It has like a weird bitterness.
I mean, I'm not gonna like
sweetness.
TMI, but I can't stop eating the Pandebonos, and every time I complete one, I do have to run to the bathroom to shit. But it is like, it's so good.
But
And
my
also,
biggest
guys,
issue is
it's
the bread
gluten-free.
side, because the bread is I like it more bitter. Like it's like very sweet.
So these are them for reference. It's like just a round little disc.
For those who don't know, they're
They're
at
very
Trader Joe's.
chewy.
At Trader Joe's, they're called Brazilian cheese breads.
because they're pao de queso. They're different than Pandebono.
Yeah, but that's similar. But I've had Pandebono there.
This is actually ridiculous. Why don't you guys share a mic for this episode?
because we're the ones doing most of the talking.
Because I don't have a mic.
Because Andreas has a different volume level than us. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys. So they're like cheese breads. I'm gonna break one open for you.
There's a bakery in San Francisco that makes them Pandebonos and like Colombian Pandebonos, and
It's
they
a Colombian
are my
bakery,
favorite.
but they closed in the Mission because California doesn't love Colombians, unfortunately.
But it is delicious.
So I'm
Those
not really a
ones.
fan of Pandebonos, but
I'm not a fan of these Pandebonos.
they're all right. It's basically just cheese. Oh, God.
It's just too sweet.
It's basically just cheese-filled bread. But the significance of these Pandebonos is that Sofia has every fucking time we go past the Pandebono stand, Sophia's like, do you guys want Pandebonos? And it's like, fucking no, we don't want one. She is a Pandebono. Like, she is.
It's literally every fucking one, too. Like, we can't get to a single stop and Sophia just pass on through. No.
I thought it. I want it, but.
Let me have a little bit of that one, though.
It's like bitter right now. Like, I don't know what about it.
It's not sweet.
But it tastes like something bad.
Maybe this was warmer. I'd enjoy this one.
I like this one a lot.
I don't like the cheese. The cheese is not it for me.
It's okay.
I have been living my best fucking life eating Colombian food every day. So, and
Lila
I know
and I are
Andreas
struggling.
and Lila struggle with that, but Colombian food is my favorite food, hands down.
So beans, rice, and pandebonos. Sophia survives.
Literally, I've been eating beans, rice, pandebonos, plantains, fresh fruit every morning, and I've been living my fucking best life, you guys.
I like the fresh fruit. I will say the one fruit that I've had
No,
here that
but
I don't think I've ever had as good of is pineapple.
Pineapple,
The
papaya,
pineapple here has been unbeatable.
the dragon fruit, pitaya.
Oh, those were hella good, but the texture was also weird on those.
Oh, I love the pitaya.
I like it
because you
too.
can eat it like an ice cream almost.
No, it's slimy.
I would not say that you could eat it like an ice cream. That's a horrible way to describe it. It's pretty much... I poured you water, bro. It's pretty much just like seeds. That's not what I fucking poured you. You drank some of it.
That is it. I have mine. We're good. Oh. Yeah, see, Lila's pouring us rations, and she has the whole fucking bottle to herself, and she gets mad
At this
when we finish
point,
our
you guys
fucking
got more than
rations.
me. You guys got more than
Then
me.
drink the damn water.
Anyway, it's kind of like a seedy, like lychee almost. Like, it's very slimy, but it's really good, and it really is good for your digestion. So you can, if you like are very constipated, which we've been this entire trip, if you have a pitaya, you will shit it all out.
We're
Pitaya is so good.
back and forth
guys.
between being blocked up and ready to flow.
And like
'cause
in Hawaii, they make pitaya bowls where like instead of acai, they have pitaya. But I think it depends. It depends what culture you're from, what you call them, because some
Which
people call
one?
them dragon fruit.
She was like, I have to go. And it's like... No, because I was like...
in Cartagena,
We are so unwell on this trip. All of our
Guys,
family
our
is
stomachs are
so
fucked.
unwell.
Or
Our uncle
sick.
is literally hooked up to IVs. Like, we cannot...
I'm actually really worried about him though.
We are actually really worried, but legitimately, like, we've been shitting out our lungs, and then the next day we're fucking constipated, the next day we're throwing up. Like, I walked into the room the other night and mom was like really sick, like something hit her, and it smelled like genuine infant child shit. Like, and that's when you know it's bad, because all of our farts and our shits have been
Mom would
smelling
beat
like
you if she heard you
infants.
put this out there.
Well, too bad. This is gonna get a little bit of a gross episode.
Yeah, so
I had like a
trigger
2-hour
warning
episode.
for anyone who doesn't want to hear about the runs, because we're going to be describing it. So go ahead, describe my moment.
No, Sophia was a little bitch the whole trip because
Yeah.
so Lila, Dad, and I had been going to the bathroom
Dad
quite frequently.
was really
Dad
unwell.
went through it. Dad
Like,
went
we
through
can't
it.
even say what happened, but
But he was going bad. Everybody's getting the shits, not solid, flowing out. As a close family member of ours would say, Picasso painting in the toilet. Can we keep that? We can keep that.
can we keep that?
I don't know. Can we keep that, or are we
He
going to expose
watches it.
ourselves?
Nice shot.
So we've been going through it. We're having our moments. We're, shit, got to run to the bathroom real quick. As soon as you feel it, you got to go. It's low key. I ain't going to lie. Anyway.
It's low key what?
He's going to go now.
It might be time soon.
Oh shit!
But I'm good. But anyway, all of a sudden, Mom, Dad, and Lila are all asleep.
It's like 3 a.m, bro.
No, it's not. It
Oh,
was
okay.
like 11.
Oh,
We were just all tired. We were asleep. So I never set a 30-minute timer.
I did.
Okay, cool. So Sophia and I are up. Sophia's on her phone, and I'm watching YouTube. Excuse me. So, next thing I know, she was running into the bathroom. Not running. She just goes to the bathroom, and I didn't think of anything of it. I was watching YouTube. I wasn't listening.
I also have to say, like, I have this weird thing where I have to pee, like, 5 times before I go to the bathroom. Like, that's not a set number.
It didn't make any sense.
Do you hear that?
That's the fridge.
Oh. But I would just have a weird thing where, like, I have to pee a lot before I go to bed because it just keeps me up. So I do go to the bathroom a lot before I go to sleep. So this wasn't kind of normal.
I just thought she was going to the bathroom. I didn't think anything of it, right? And I'm listening to
Let me preface by saying we're 5 to a room, and Andreas, Leela, and I are on rolly beds next to.
No, I was on. Okay, but I was on a floor bed, Leela. That was a floor bed. I'd rather it roll and make it move more.
Okay, well, we were on the rolly beds, and Andreas's body, and honestly mine, did not fit on the rolly beds. And so we were kind of just sprawled on this little rolly bed next to our parents' bed. And okay, continue.
So long story short, she goes in there, I'm watching my Cletus and falling or something, half us falling asleep, to be honest with you. And she comes out and she goes, "Did you hear that?" And I go, "No, I didn't hear anything." And she goes, "I went." And I go, "No way, you finally had it, you little shit." Because she's been giving us shit. She's been like, "I'm perfectly fine. I've been fine." I'm like, "All right, bitch, it's coming. Just wait, it's gonna come." And so long story short, then all of a sudden I hear her run again.
She runs to the bathroom.
She runs this time. This time I'm like, I gotta be able to hear this one. So I made sure I paid attention. I just hear. It was rancid. I probably broke the mic doing that. But it was the most disgusting thing I've heard in my life. And I go, oh, well, Karma's a bitch. And I just went over and went to bed.
Okay,
apparently.
Let me describe this. Okay, actually, it was just a fart. That one. It was just a fart.
I don't know, man.
For
It
Grant.
sounded like a little more came out than that. It was a Picasso painting in the
No, it
finest.
wasn't. Okay.
All of this, like, even when I go to the bathroom and I'm like, oh fuck, I think I shit myself, like all of it.
Well, Ryan said she shit herself. I run in there and I'm like, gone in. I hear Leela screaming. I'm like, oh no, here we go.
Lila went to the bathroom 4 times this morning.
Yeah, I did.
How many times today?
Probably tried to go about 10 times, successfully went 6.
God,
Wow.
it's a lot of bowel movement. Oh.
Oh. Can you puke? I swear to God.
Ain't no way.
Stop, Sophia. You're being so fucking dramatic. You know I have a metaphobia.
That was the nastiest smelling burp.
Suck it in, bro.
It's happening.
You suck it in.
The purge is happening.
That's good.
I feel like I don't really want to share a mic with you anymore,
I
but
don't think this is why we don't want to share a mic with Leela.
I feel I could still smell the remnants on the fucking mic. I feel like we need to recap our whole trip because we honestly haven't talked to you guys since we were in Medellin, which feels like 20,000 months ago.
God,
I
does
say
it feel
in
like
Medellin
long
we
ago?
were like, hey y'all, we landed in Colombia, and now we're like, all right, like you don't know the fucking half of this trip, bro.
You don't know the half of it.
It was actually a really great trip.
And I want to preface also that we only say the bad things because it's only the funny things, but we are like eternally grateful. Like this has been an amazing experience. We got to see so much of Colombia and like a lot of our family.
No, it's been
amazing.
It's been a really cool trip, but it's just
We just like to keep it juicy on
it's just
here.
there's been a lot packed into this short amount of time, and everybody is done. You can go ask. We can go call one of our.
I also
cousins
want to say
as
we
a
are
guest star and be like, hey,
traveling.
how are you feeling about right now? And they'll be like, send me the fuck home. I'm
We're
done.
traveling with 21 people.
It's just also really difficult because, you know, you're in Colombia and you're obviously in a different country. Like, you don't know the vibes. And you're with 21 people. And, like,
standing out like sore.
they
thumbs.
also, like, our family has horrible social cues to where, like, we'll be standing in the middle of a street, all 21 of us. And I'm like,
makes you so mad.
hey, maybe we should break off into groups
then
and
you get yelled
switch.
at.
Or, like, we'll be in TSA
then you get
and
yelled
everyone's
at.
like, we need to wait for every single family. I'm like, let's just meet at the gate. Like, it's really, like, the social cues are terrible within this family.
The one thing I can see that saved us a little bit is that we've been staying in hotels for most of it, except for Cartagena, which I think in Cartagena was when everybody was finally just ready to go. I think that was the end because we finally had our little family all together in a house, and I think as much as we love that, there's only so much of that we can take.
But that house was so beautiful, you guys. I did film some of it for you, so I might post it. Yeah, I might insert some clips if I can. I'll send it to Erin. But it was like a beautiful. It was a beautiful
Oh,
house, and I will say about like the architecture and the homes in Colombia, there's really no carpeting because it's
Is that a
kind
Harley?
of like fuck. It's like a dog and a squirrel. In Colombia, oh my god, he's staring out the window.
That's the third Harley I've heard in Colombia.
So, please stop burping
I miss home.
Did you hear that?
because it was fucking loud.
I really tried to muffle.
What I'm saying about the architecture in Colombia is that it's kind of indoor outdoor. So like even the bedrooms.
Well, it just depends on the style. It's a
lot of-
colonial style.
But even the like places we went to in Bucaramanga, like there's no carpeting. in any of the houses or
Yeah, that
apartments
is
I've
true.
been
There's no carpeting. It's all like
I would
mud.
also say for the house in Medellin, I would literally just picture
Do you have clips
if
of-
you have ever watched the Encanto the movie, look at the house in that movie and it looks like that. Like it's very beautiful, like the kitchen and like the outdoor seating areas, like the little family rooms, like they're all outdoors, but like obviously it's indoors, but the roof is exposed. And then obviously when you're sleeping, you have your own
Which
room,
thank God we
but-
had some air conditioning in those rooms, because if we didn't, I think some feral acts would have come out of us.
Well, we all 5 of us were sharing a room, which I do have to say, like, I do feel like a little kid again listening to Andres' snores, putting me to fucking sleep at night.
Sophia
welcome.
said it best too. She said, I have to fucking imagine Andreas' snores or something else. And if I have related to anything more in my life, it was that. Like, I related so much to that. You have to pretend it's like,
You know, I'm supposed to be getting like
anything but
nose surgery
snoring.
for this stuff, so you guys are really just
yeah, you've been saying you're going to
pissing
get
me
nose surgery for 5 fucking years. When's it going to happen,
Well, it
bro?
might not. It's probably not going to help with the snoring. If I want to help my snoring, they're supposed to burn the back of my throat to harden it. Yeah, fuck
Let's
that.
get it done.
Fuck that.
Well, I think it will ultimately depend who you end up with, if they're okay with your snoring.
Kaylee
The
doesn't
thing
mind
is,
the
Kaylee
snoring.
doesn't think he snores.
No,
I
she
remember-
knows I snore, but she doesn't mind it.
I can't.
Ew.
It's because her dad snored.
When
like
have you
10
guys
times
even
an hour.
slept next to each other?
When we visited each other, or like
And she kn-
When she came on the family trip, I was like, Kaylee, like, I'm putting you next to Andreas because I can't handle the snoring. And she's like, I don't hear a snoring. And I'm like, okay, either you're being nice or you're fucking.
See, everybody thinks it's being
that
nice.
was motherfucking tea. That was
No,
the
but
whole
everybody thinks it's being
situation.
And like at first I thought the same thing, but I genuinely think she can just sleep past it. Like I don't think it bothers her that much.
Your snoring is unfucking.
You're also ultra sensitive,
No,
Leela.
Andreas, your
You are
snoring is
ultra sensitive.
unreal.
I could be breathing
It's
awake.
perfect.
I could be breathing awake. I could be breathing awake and hear Leela go, turn over.
breathing awake. You're breathing awake. You snore when you're conscious. You go like this. You lay down for 5 seconds and you go. And I'm like, Andreas, turn over, and you're like, I'm awake. And I'm like, then what the fuck was that? Because you
I do
snore
sometimes
when
hear
you're
myself
awake.
snore.
You
But
do
Leela,
snore
there's
when you're
time-
awake.
There's times where I'm not even snoring though. I've been wide awake and you told me to turn over. So let's actually chill.
All right, let's
Leela
talk
will be-
about other.
Leela
Let's
will
talk
be-
about.
Hold on. Leela will be. I'll be taking a nap and Leela will be awake, like not trying to sleep or anything, and she'll still yell at me. That's where I draw the line. I get it when you're trying to sleep, but when we're just chilling and I'm just taking a nap and you're not doing anything but being on your phone, fuck right off. Thank you.
Do you want to get McDonald's after the pod?
Yeah, I'm so down.
Okay.
And that's how we make up, guys.
Okay, I think we should recap just some tea. Like I just think we got to get down and dirty right now.
I really.
I was just gonna say this real quick. Sorry. When it's how we were talking about, we all just are ready to go. When you know it's time to go, when Miss Colombia herself, Sofia, who is diehard, let's live in Colombia forever, decides that it's rolls over in the middle of her sleep and goes, I need to go fucking home.
Sophia has been feral this
When
entire
Sophia does it,
I
that's when you know
literally
we gotta
like
get
no.
the
There's
fuck home.
moments where I'm like, oh, poor Sophia. Like she'll get sad. I fucking walked in on her today crying to Wita about her Spanish is bad, and I fucking left because I was like, bro,
Shut the fuck
you're
up.
so fluent. Like Sophia was bawling her eyes out, and I was like, can you
In the middle of the mall.
in the middle of the mall, like speaking in Spanish too. She was like, no, like it's so bad. It's better in the Estados Unidos.
Not you trying to speak Spanish with that fucking accent, bro.
I pulled a fucking bleep that.
Oh,
Fuck.
she pulled the you know who. Hey, what you got in that thing?
Okay. Oh, okay. We cannot. We need to
That
bleep
could be
this
bleeped
whole
out.
fucking section now. Thank you very much.
Okay, what's some tea?
No, say how I've been feral.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I ate that made it so bad.
Oh, I can even smell it. It's
I'm
fucking
sorry.
True Lulus.
No, it's not the Cholulu. It's the garlic pasta I had. No, I
hasn't
had
even had
garlic
meat,
pasta.
Sophia.
I had garlic pasta at the restaurant.
I think it's the baby shits in her stomach.
Fuck off, you guys. What? Well, you just made a huge scene. Anyway.
Sophia's
Okay, yeah,
feral.
no, Sophia has been feral as fuck. Like,
When is she
bro
not,
is
though?
not okay. She, honestly, like, I think we need to insert some clips. First of all, her foot while she was sleeping last night, insert. I'll send that to you, Aaron. Fucking her sleeping on the plane, insert. I'll send it to you, Aaron. Like, it has been insane energy.
Oh, I didn't
from
even show
Sophia.
you guys this video I had today. You can insert this, Aaron.
Oh, God. Is this going to be a live reaction? Insert it in.
Collateral Greg.
Andreas, are you actually so dead ass? Delete that,
I'm so
bruh.
dead. I ain't deleting shit. I'm gonna send it to Aaron too to add in.
The way that Gregory and Leela like
Feral.
very much look like twins.
This is Feral
Anything-
Sophia. Oh, was he gonna focus?
Okay, because
did that.
Leela was taking a fatty shit and I just got back from the gym and I needed like I haven't worked out in 2 weeks, you guys. So my mind has just been racing, okay? And I get back to the building and mom's like, you have to eat because you know if I don't eat I faint.
Fucking God.
And stop. You can't talk fucking business on the pod, Leela. Put your fucking
We should
phone
have a
down.
business episode maybe.
About what? What business do we do?
Killing business.
Go continue.
I don't even know what I was fucking saying. Now I'm thinking about crazy shit.
The sleeping videos.
Out?
No, how you were told you need to eat.
No, so I came into the room and Leela's shitting, so like I couldn't take a shower and I couldn't go down there like stinky as hell.
No. Sophia knocks on the door or comes in, actually walks in on me, and I'm butt ass and I'm shitting, and I go, Sophia, get out. Then she decides to text the family group chat and she says, Leela won't let me take a shower. Context, please. So I text the group chat and I'm like, no, I'm taking a fatty shit. Sophia, don't spread fucking lies.
Should I read the text off?
Yeah, go ahead, because it was fucking
Read the receipts, might
rude,
as
bro.
well.
Like, that is fake fucking news.
It wasn't fake news because you actually were not letting me take a shower.
Read it.
Is this working? Okay.
Where does it start? Okay, it's fine. I'm coming up. You should eat. Okay. I need to shower first, but Leela's taking a fatty. I can't go down there alone with sweat. Come shower. This is mom. Come and shower and then run down. I think the gonzos are eating now. I mean, already here, Leela won't let me shower. I'm taking a fat poo. I'll be out in a sec. It's not that I won't let her shower. That's fucking fake news, Sophia. Don't spread lies. And mom said, just let her in so she can make breakfast. And then Sophia says, we're fighting now, but she got out. Leela sent a picture of Sophia looking feral as all fuck. Sophia said,
I was
rude.
so feral this morning. Like I could feel the grease in my fucking hair.
Me and Sophia got in like a huge fight last night. I don't even remember what it was for, but it was
No, Leela was like, I'm not fucking podcasting for you anymore. I'm not podcasting for you. And I was like,
because you were being rude as fuck, and the way that you sleep is so annoying. Erin, I don't know how the fuck you share a bed with her. Just kidding. I know you guys have twin beds, but fucking
The bunk
Sophia,
beds.
fucking Sophia sleeps like this is her whole entire half. No, she.
It wasn't
I
me.
didn't fart. I swear to God.
I
Then nobody
granted
farted.
not
Maybe
fart. I
this
can't
burp
smell
lingering.
anything. Probably
If I
is.
farted, you would know.
Her foot will be like all the way over here, like on top of me. It's annoying.
How about the picture with her
Leela
foot
and I-
sleeping?
Guys, we have
I
so
asked
much shit to insert into this pod.
Hold on.
So, Leela, you have to insert the photo of my feral foot when I was mad at you. Oh my god.
I am gonna answer.
Anyway, guys, we're kind of like
Sophia pushes it back down.
we're a little broken right now, but like we are going back to the United States tomorrow. So
I can't wait.
I burped a fucking again, dude. Estados Unidos.
It's done. Los Estados
So I'm just gonna recap really quickly the whole trip, and then you guys just spitfire when you want to come in, okay? First of all,
I think we should do this when we get home.
No, just go.
I kind of want to just spill the tea now.
I kind of want to do it. Kinda. That's how you just said kinda. Kinda.
Just go.
I don't need to be fucking yelled at right now. Do we want to do this or not?
Go.
Okay. We get to Medellin. We are all three of us sharing a room. We're kind of stoked about that, but we're also debating, should we let Andreas sleep with us in the same room? Should we not? Is his snoring going to keep us up at night? Of course, it kept us up at night.
Yep.
Then we are actually celebrating my abuelito's birthday in Medellin, and I don't remember, has mom been to Medellin before? No.
No.
It's not their birthday. Also, it's their 60th anniversary.
Fuck. You guys, I'm so
Feral
sorry.
Sophia.
Legitimately the reason for this trip.
That's a whole trip. Like the whole reason we're on the
Yeah,
trip.
so it's their 60th anniversary. So we're staying in this beautiful, beautiful hotel. We did do a pod in there, but honestly, it didn't do it justice. And the food there was by far the best, in my opinion.
The food there wasn't really even Colombian food though. Except for
It
like,
was Colombian food. In the morning, the beans and rice like hit fucking diff.
Dude.
So anyway, it was incredible. The only downfall of that part of the trip was when we were pulled over by the police, me, Andreas, and Leela. And
Yeah,
we
fuck.
were told to get out of the taxi and we were patted down.
Andres.
You guys were not patted
We
down.
just
I was
right.
patted down.
Andreas was patted down, but like I had to tell him that he was being patted down.
Well, I kind of had a feeling what was going on, but I wasn't 100% sure what he was saying. I wanted to make sure he didn't ask me another question. But then he said something about pockets, and I kind of figured, and I kind of started emptying him anyway. And so he goes, "Yeah, empty your pockets."
I also want to say Andreas and Lila's Spanish has been like actually really good on this trip,
Yeah.
and they've been picking up things really well and really been communicating. So I'm really proud of them. But anyway,
Did we tell the whole cop story in the last one?
we told like bits of it, but I don't even know if we'll keep that because Lila was so fucking feral.
She was feral.
So should we say it?
I guess it's just long, but anyway, long story short,
Not that long, really.
we finished the dinner,
We were at my abuelito's anniversary
and
dinner.
that dinner took like fucking
We
3
had done
hours.
like a full day's tour, like 8 hours. It was an incredible
It
tour.
was it was an incredible tour. Awesome. That tour I would recommend. What was it called again?
Oh,
We need a plug.
we're gonna plug.
Common tours. Come on tours.
Come on tours.
But it wasn't like spelled like come on. It was more like common. But they said come on tours. I don't know.
Yeah, it
was
sounded
something
like
that.
come on tours, but it wasn't. But
In Medellin.
in Medellin, and they were
They're
incredible.
really good. They're really
The
good.
guys were cool. I forgot what are their names? One guy was named like an American.
It doesn't really
Sofia.
matter.
John and I forgot the other guy's name. Emilio. Was the other guy named Emilio?
I don't remember.
Fuck.
Anyway, they were incredible. They took us through the whole city, like, and it was just really historical and special. And then we got to dance on a boat at the end, so we were just all pumped, except for Greta. But anyway,
Greta just wanted to see the cool houses, like Pablo Escobar's blown up house. Is that too much to
yeah,
ask?
we literally went on a boat tour where we saw J Balvin, Maluma,
James Rodriguez,
James Rodriguez,
Colombian soccer star.
and we saw Pablo Escobar's old house in like one area in Medellin.
And the house was like blown up.
I was like,
it
why are they all settling on this one hill, bruh?
Because it's just the most like expensive, like badass. Like you're on the water.
It kind of looked like Sausalito without that much traffic.
And without that much like town, there wasn't much of a town there.
But like, you know how the center of Sausalito and then there's like a little lake around it?
It reminded me as if like the Russian River was bougie.
Because I've never been to the Russian River, but yeah.
No, both of those are wrong.
What would you compare it to, Leela?
Just a lake in fucking
It
Colombia.
was not a lake. It was a river.
Aaron, insert the tour of Maluma doing his like, hey AV, AD, fuck.
Anyway, it was a cool tour and it was very pretty, but there was historical houses. And they'd start trying to
You
talk.
guys are not ever on track. And that's why I need a mic. Because we were talking about how we got pulled over by the cops. And now you guys are talking about a tour.
Okay, go.
Fucking dumb.
Finish the story with... Okay, we get out of dinner. We're waiting with our cousin Alexander. He's the one that used to be the filmer for here on that one trip. We don't know his age, that little guy. He's waiting with us, whatever. So we allow to go ahead of us because they won't watch Alexander. Anyway.
You have to cut that.
Fucking
that.
cut it then. Okay.
Being a little bitch though.
Guys!
This is just for Aaron's
That's for
ears.
Aaron to hear.
Okay, so anyway, so we're watching Alexander, whatever. We wait for his family to come, and then me, Sofia, and Andres are put into a taxi. We go into our taxi, whatever, and
Guys, sketch right off the bat.
we are being taken in a very weird direction. Like, I'm also speaking very loud English, which I wasn't aware of. Like,
Leela's
I
street
was.
smarts sometimes.
That is not true. I have great street
I said
smarts.
sometimes.
You were not aware at all.
You just were
Which
very
was not your
comfortable.
fault, but you were screaming English and I kept squeezing you and you were like, why do you want me to stop talking shit? It's just
Because I was talking shit, and Sophia kept squeezing me, and I was like, okay, fuck off. Like, I'm trying to talk the shit.
and she kept, instead of like lowering her voice, she was like, what the fuck, Sophia?
No, I wasn't. I wish we had fucking footage of this ride.
Andreas.
You were
I was
screaming.
not screaming, what the
You were screaming and you
fuck?
were up like this when we're both in our seats. Long story short, I think this was going to happen anyway, regardless of her. I just think Leela didn't help. But it made us very clear that we were not from there or something was up. Anyway, guy's taking us a weird way. And he takes us to this kind of like blockade thing, like a parking lot where like the thing goes up. And Sophia was starting to ask him like, because he was slowing down, was going to say like, this isn't our hotel, or she was going to say this wasn't the way, but I wasn't sure what was going on.
He was also listening to like a Spanglish podcast. Like, he was definitely a little bit sus, and he wasn't really like nice. Like, he didn't ask us how we were. He didn't like
He's very
ever communicate with Soph. Like,
So he took,
I kind of got the vibe that he spoke English because he was listening to a Spanglish podcast. I thought they were speaking kind of English and Spanish in the pod. And I was like, oh, maybe he does speak
or
English.
he was trying to learn.
Or no, because it was kind of like, it seemed like a casual pod. I don't know, maybe, but I was kind of like, Maybe he probably understands English.
I
That
almost wonder if I shouldn't have paid him because when I went to pay him, he didn't give me.
he
a number.
looked surprised.
Yeah.
It was weird. Okay, continue.
So anyway, long story short, Sophia's trying to. So we handled things very differently. And it was just too many conflicting issues. Lila was being loud, in American accent, screaming. Sophia was trying to ask him what's going on. And I was kind of like, let's just shut up and just keep going until it gets like, because we're still moving. Like if we stop moving in a weird area, then that's the time we get weird. But I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to raise any more red flags. I was just like, maybe he just knows a faster way because there's a lot of traffic
Thinking
right now.
about this fucking situation.
I know, dude. It's bad.
No, so okay, let me keep going, and then Andreas, you can tell the part about my shoe. But so we're driving, and then all of a sudden we see like cops ahead of us.
Well, what I was gonna say though, let me finish that part. Is that Sophia was trying to tell him like what's going on, not what's going on, but this doesn't look like the way. Because even though we don't know where the fucking fuck we are, we don't know where the hell we are. We still have some street smarts to us and some senses where we're like, this ain't right. And so I'm like, no. So if we didn't, he kept moving. Let's keep going. In hindsight, there was that barrier I'm talking about that goes up. And it just went up right when he got there. There was a guy right there, and he kind of waved at him. So he definitely knew what was going on.
I want to say this, that Andreas and I this whole time are like trying to communicate through like silent nudges, like Lila's in between us. She has no idea what's going on this whole time.
No. I knew going through that one area was sus. That's when I kind of started to quiet down because I was
No,
like,
because
wait,
we went down
what the
that
fuck?
big turn right after, and you were screaming. That's when Sophia told
No,
you to
I
shut
fucking wasn't.
up. Okay, whatever.
I remember too. So we're driving down, and all of a sudden we see like cops ahead of us, and we're like, okay, weird as fuck. And so they stop him, and he turns on our back lights.
And they flagged him down. At first I was expecting like, oh, this is like probably a drinking and driving stop thing.
Or
like,
I thought they
big
were
deal.
stopping
They
him.
were stopping him, yeah, for something.
But I thought he turned on our back lights to be like, oh, I'm taking people. Like, don't worry. Like, I have people in the back. So he turns on our back lights, and they're like, they ask him, they say ID.
And actually, at first, I felt almost satisfied to see them. Not satisfied, but more like, okay, at least we're not in the middle of nowhere and there's police near us, because he was taking us a weird way and we didn't know what this guy was up to.
Yeah. So they say ID. And I thought, okay, like, they're going to ID him, and this is probably protocol, whatever. He turns to us and is like, give them your ID. And so we're like,
in perfect English too.
What the fuck? And so we're like, okay, we take out our IDs and we give them to them. And then they're like, get out of the car. And so I fucking freaked out. And so Sophia gets out of the car, and then
Sophia gets out, and Lila's shoe gets stuck. And I was going to go out the other side door, but I didn't want to do anything.
he was being so
Can you let me finish
mean.
my fucking side of it first? I didn't want to go out the other way that was closest to me, so I climbed all the way across the seats because I didn't want to open another door and freak them. I just wanted to follow the way they told us to get out. They opened the door and told us to get out, so I was going to follow that. And so I was going, and Lila's foot stuck, and she's like, my foot's stuck. She's laughing while her foot's stuck, not acting drunk because she wasn't, but like she could have easily come off that way. And I'm very thankful that I only got one drink and a beer at that place, because if I had been drunk, who knows what would have happened. Like, not that I would have been acting crazy, but they would have been like, oh, you're drunk. What
Well,
the
the
fuck,
situation was that my foot was stuck, and I was like, wait, Andreas, my shoe. That's how I said it at first.
I'm
And I was
like,
like, my shoe.
get
Andreas
the
was like,
fuck out of the door.
fucking move. Fucking get out of the car. Fucking. And he's on top of me, so I
was not
cannot.
on top of her.
Yes, you
I
were.
literally picked up your foot and moved it.
So
I
I
know what you're
couldn't
talking
move
about.
my shoe, and then my shoe fell off, and I was like, oh my God, this is a shit show. So out of nervousness, I was laughing, so I was like, my shoe, like, and it was so awkward.
I want to say that we all handle things very, very differently. And the way that we handle panic situations all came to light in those like 5 seconds.
Oh, and in the middle of this, Auntie Sandy turns around and sees us in the backseat of the car
I
having
saw
to get
her
out,
face,
and you could just see her face.
She turned around, she was like, and that was it. And
I didn't see her.
No, she was.
Well, I will say this. I had heard about routine stops last time I visited Colombia, of like how they stop tourists and sometimes ask them to get out of the car. I'd heard about that before. So I was not as scared, but I think honestly after like talking about it more, it freaked me out and made me feel
The thing
dumb.
that made me nervous. Well, actually, let's finish the story, and then we'll talk about why we're nervous. Long story short, he tells us to get out of the car, IDs us all, and then he tells me to empty my pockets.
Yeah.
So I emptied my pockets. All I had was my wallet and my phone. He goes, "Do you have anything else?" I'm like, "No, tengo nada, whatever." So he goes in because he asked me, "Do you have anything in your pockets?" I said, "No, I don't." Patted me down really quick, and then he says, "All right, go." And that was it. It was really like,
No, he like.
get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
It was very much not like, okay, you're free to go.
Well,
Sorry,
then
just
we're
checking
in
you.
the car.
He was rude as fuck too. The cop was like, "Fuck these American kids." Like, I'm gonna check them and scare.
They
Whatever.
were all rude. So then we're in the car, and
We're back in the car, and we're like, Okay.
This motherfucker cannot keep his
Just
mouth
go,
shut.
because you were interrupting me. I didn't finish my fucking part before you go, we're back on the car.
Turn his
Fuck.
mic
Blew
down.
your ears off. Go ahead, Leela. Continue.
Anger at its finest. Anyway, we're
This
back.
motherfucker. You want to talk about anger?
We're back in the car, and Sofia starts asking the driver in Spanish.
Not right away.
Just fucking tell the story then at this.
Go ahead. I'm just telling you.
What happened after that?
We were driving and we're like, what the fuck just happened? Is this normal now? Because he's also let other cars pass right past us. Like Auntie Sandy's car, like the other car. There's another car with just a Colombian guy driving it and is with his wife. It was a family car. Let him right on through. So we were like, what is going on? What is happening? What the hell? And then we're like a couple blocks away, kind of recognize the area. But Sofia, and we're like, is that normal? Sofia goes to try to ask him if it's normal. She asked him once. Then she asked him twice. And he goes, huh? This motherfucker, especially if he spoke English, but Sophia's Spanish was fine. She was asking the right thing. He was pretending not to understand us. I'm sorry, I know that. I know for a fact he was pretending not to understand us. And that's when Sophia kept trying to ask him, like, Sophia, just fucking drop it. And then we kind of got into it a little bit. She's like, why? I'm just asking. He said, no, just fucking drop it. Because my mentality was, let's just get the fuck out of this thing and deal with it later. I get what she was trying to do.
His mentality was to get the fuck out. My mentality was, I need to show him that I'm not just like an idiot and I understand what just happened. I need him to know that I understood what just happened so that they don't think that like I was thinking, are they going to charge more money for the cab? Like, is this going to like, I wanted them to know that I was aware of what was going on.
But you asked him, this is normal in Colombia, right? That's what you were trying to say. And he just kept going, huh? No,
Yeah, he was
no
pretending not to
entiendo, no
understand
entiendo.
me.
Like, fuck right off, buddy. You entiendo perfectly.
It was a little bit scary, I
I
think.
was thinking, fucking Nintendo's this motherfucker and punching him. But that's
Okay.
besides the point.
Well, honestly, what we realize is like that is a routine check and it is to keep people safe and it is to keep Colombian people safe. Tourists can bring things in.
I think honestly
know.
it was that I got in the car with two girls. We were all dressed up. They probably, I guess there's a lot of prostitution in that area. And they picked out Sophia and Leela to be prostitutes. I don't know. And me to be the kind of person to get prostitutes. That's pretty foul on all of us.
So
but anyway,
what I think it was is because we were speaking English. But
I don't. I think it was planned from the beginning. I'm going to be real.
Next topic.
This guy was not in the thing. But anyway, no, what we were going to say. What were we going to say? I said we'd finish the story, then tell something else.
Well, okay. What I do have to say though is like that was the most quote unquote traumatic incident that we've had, and it was honestly like it was a protocol. It was a protocol to keep people safe. So although it was like really scary, I did understand why it happened, and I do think honestly after being in this trip, like even being in downtown Bogota, I think that people really exaggerate how dangerous Colombia is. I think it's really, really important to say that on the podcast because we've been here for this amount of time. I do think like any city, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You can be aware of theft, robbery, but I feel honestly safer walking on these streets than I would down Venice Beach or like in downtown LA. Have you walked down Venice?
Yeah, I have been down Venice Beach.
Okay,
actually.
Venice Beach is a whole nother thing too, but I think people always over exaggerate about places that they've never been or like things that are unfamiliar to them, because when my roommate Madison visited me, she's from San Diego, we're from San Francisco, her mom was like, better watch out because people will stab you with needles down there. And it's like, okay, clearly you guys have never been, clearly you don't know the area. And yeah, Colombia is a little bit different for us, but I would never say this is like dangerous as fuck, the cartel is watching you, the cartel is everywhere. Like, it's not like that at all. There's a lot of I don't know, preconceived notions that everyone's always putting out there, but Colombia is honestly really safe and it's a beautiful country. So I think
Colombia's definitely also making its upswing from its dark drug narco trade shit that happened in the 90s and stuff that brought the country down.
And I think like
And they're
that
focusing on
became what
tourism.
Colombians were known for a really long time. And like honestly, I think that growing up, like no one knew what Colombia was. No one knew what Colombians were.
well, that's the other thing that me and Sofia were talking about on this trip too, is like people will often say to us, or like boys or something will be like, oh, your face is really Greek but your body's very Colombian. And it's kind of like, okay, weird. But I come here and I'm like, maybe I don't really look Latin, like I don't really know. I look 100% Colombian. Like not 100%, I'm not saying like I look 100% Colombian. I definitely look Greek too, but I'm saying I do look Colombian for sure. People just don't know what Colombians look like. I feel like Colombia is one of those cultures and one of those places that is just very unknown to people. So there's always just a lot of like, I don't know, mix up within the culture.
And honestly, I feel like living in California, and I wonder if it's like this, if like you're living in Miami, if you identify with Cuban culture, if you're living in New York, do you identify with Dominican or Puerto Rican culture, if you're a different type of Latin, you know? I feel like sometimes I had to know a lot about Mexican culture, even though it wasn't my own culture, because that was the predominant Latin culture growing up. And that was the closest thing that people associated us with. So it felt like if you didn't know enough about Mexican culture, you didn't know enough about your own culture, when in reality, they are very different cultures. I'd say very different than a lot of other Latin cultures too. And I don't know, like, I think that this trip has made me really...
That point.
Why?
You have to know Mexican culture in order to know your own culture. I've never felt that way.
What I'm saying is that I think a lot of people... I think growing up, the majority of Latin people that I knew were Mexican. And the majority of people who knew what Latin was just thought it was Mexican.
I kind of understand where you're coming from when people will say like, oh yeah, I'm Latin. And then people will just be like, oh, Mexican. Like, it was always when we were younger too, also, since we went to a really predominantly white grammar school and high school, like I was called Mexican all the fucking time. But I don't understand you saying that you have to understand Mexican culture before understanding your own.
No, I'm not saying that I had to understand Mexican. I think I said it wrong. What I mean is that Mexican culture felt like the predominant Latin culture in California.
Because it is.
Because it is. So if you were going to be like very proud of being Latin, because, you know, a lot of cultures like Asian culture, Latin culture, Middle Eastern culture, it could be washed over as one thing. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So since a lot of culture in California that's Latin comes from Mexico, which is a beautiful thing, I felt like sometimes in trying to identify with Latin culture, I was trying to like... I learned a lot about Mexican culture in doing so, because that's the rich Latin culture where we come from.
I think that's... I get what you're saying, and like I can understand.
Like, I feel like I know way more about Mexican culture than Colombians that live here, obviously.
But that's a you thing.
I don't think that's a me thing.
I also think it's because you live in LA.
To identify with my Latin side, I didn't think I had to find out more about Mexican culture.
I think it's also because
obviously
she lives
you know
in
more
LA.
about it because that's where we grow up.
Well, I'm not saying like... I'm not saying that I had to learn more about Mexican culture. I'm just saying that was the predominant Latin culture where we were growing up. So if you were going to identify strongly with Latin culture, chances are the people that you were like, hey, like, I'm also Latin with, were Mexican. So you did kind of learn about their culture by default, which is a beautiful thing. But what I'm saying is that it's very different and people don't realize.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I
also think
though that... Sorry, Liz, go ahead.
No, I do think that like the whole mix up with people thinking that if you're Latin, you're one just you're Mexican by default. I think that's fucked, and that's happened all of my life. But I actually don't really know where I was going with this point. So Joyce, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I feel like I honestly, personally, also feel like Mexican culture is kind of its own thing.
Oh, fully.
And like Latin American, no, but like obviously each country's culture is its own. There's different things about like Colombia, especially I've noticed now seeing it in our family. But I mean like Mexican culture is very Mexican, and I feel like Latin America is different. Just like
it's very different.
Just like the Caribbean, like all these different parts of Central South America.
You're more likely to have things in common with another South American
than
you would with a Mexican person. But what I'm saying is just that there were so many references to Mexican culture growing up. I can't speak
We're getting
right
so
now.
off track.
I know.
No, but I'm just saying that there were so many references to Mexican culture growing up that's kind of...
Yeah, because San Francisco has a lot of...
Yes, that's basically all I'm saying.
Although I feel like that's low-key not changing, but I feel like you're also we're learning a lot more about other people like Latin.
Oh, I
feel like there's
fully
a lot of
agree.
Peruvians, a lot of maybe not a lot of
Salvadorians,
Guatemalans, Argentinians can...
Well, I just feel like Argentina just won against Colombia, so we're a little bit peeved about that.
Way, but
we're just a little
Nazis, so.
Okay. We need to cut that out, Aaron. We're gonna cut that out.
I said what I said.
Yeah, I think that we're getting off track, but the point is that I feel very, very proud to be Colombian on this trip, and I think that for a long time Colombians were associated with narcos and drugs and everything to do with Pablo Escobar. Yeah. And it was just an unfortunate It was unfortunate because there's so much more to this country.
I'll say this: it was a big part of the country, and it was dark. It was running the country a lot more than the government. It was a dark place for a little while, but it's also still a beautiful place. But the one thing I will say is, I came in with more thinking it was gonna be more dangerous than it was.
Me too.
But also, like we said, you can't fall, away from the idea that there's still sketchy aspects, just like any city. I did burp. Just like there's any city, but at the same time, like there's also other things. Like as much as it's growing and becoming more and more of I don't want to say modern city because modern's different for everybody, but more and more commercialized maybe. There is still that extreme third world country aspect to some parts of it, with the extreme poverty and extreme like crazy shit, like no running water, no electricity. People just squat. They just build houses out of build shacks.
No,
and just
genuinely.
living there for
What
free.
I will say about
It's
this,
wild.
sorry, Andres. What I will say about this trip is like it put a lot into perspective for me. Like even with our cousins who we met, who one of them speaks pretty good English, but the other one does not speak any English. But they are both super happy boys and they have such a great outlook. And we said to them, we asked like, oh, well, what's your favorite part about living in Colombia? And they were like, everyone's so happy here. And they're like, is it different in California? And we were like, yeah, honestly, everyone's always kind of a little bit bitter and like just by default, like always a little bit angry. And I'm like, bro, like we are so fortunate, especially like living in California and like even just having an iPhone or like being able to even take this trip. Like I was literally saying like, you guys, like our home is your home. Like please come and visit us in the States. Like, and mom was like, oh, I don't know if they can afford that. Or Andres was saying that to me. And I'm like, that breaks my heart. But at that same point, like they're so fucking happy. Like they don't see an issue with anything. And it's like, that made me feel like, okay, I need to be way more grateful about what I have in my life. And that's, I think, the biggest takeaway for me from this trip.
Agreed.
Deep. I think we just leave that at that.
Yeah, mic dropped, Leela.
I had something to say more about the whole cop pulling us over, but I feel like that's just beating a dead horse at this point.
Oh my God, holy shit.
Not the cop.
I never got to bring it in. I was just gonna say the reason I was sketched out. I mean, you could cut this out, Aaron. It doesn't really matter. But I was just gonna say the reason I was sketched out about it is because I've heard a story about my buddies who are in Mexico, completely different area, but it's a foreign country, so that's what I'm getting at. And the cops straight up, and also Wito did say some stories about cops here doing sketchy things, taking bribes, doing that kind of stuff, trying to get, like, they'll arrest you for something and say, well, if you give me $1,000, I'll let them go, whatever. Yeah. Long story short, I was just worried that they were going to my buddies went to Mexico, some of them, like, took a piss on the side of a building, shouldn't have done it, it was dumb, but they got caught, and the cops were like, give us everything in your pockets, or you're going to fucking jail. And so what are you going to do? Give them everything in your pocket and pay them all the money you have. And that's what they had to do. And so I was worried that they're going to do that. I'm like, are they going to maybe try to plan something on me because I'm a stupid American trying to get money? Not that I would, and I shouldn't necessarily have that idea, but I'm not in America. I don't know my rights. I don't know what I can do. I can't argue back. I don't speak the language. It was kind of just one of those moments where I tensed up and was like, do what they say and pray to God that everything works out. And we can leave that at that too.
I will say also on this trip, my taste has definitely evolved in men, which is great. If you've been watching the pod and you've been listening to my episodes, you know that my fucking taste is terrible, and the men here are phenom. So I think I'm gonna be going for more Latin people now instead of just white, like whiteys. Just thought I should say that.
Should we really add that?
Wow, Leela.
I feel like that should not
That
be
is such an epiphany. Now, do you want to talk about the white boy that you're currently talking to and crying
Nicknamed-
over?
No.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, so he didn't like my bikini photo,
What time is it, guys?
and that sent me through the fucking roof because
oh fuck.
we'll wrap it up at this. But there's this guy
7:30.
that I
We have to meet
kind.
the family in like an hour.
Oh fuck! I forgot that was happening. Do I have to put on makeup?
No.
So
No, I'm not wearing makeup.
fuck. Okay.
It's
Anyway,
Jana.
so I freaking have been like, I like kind of saw this guy a little bit in Boulder, but it really was nothing, honestly. It was kind of like a rebound from the past guy that I was talking to on the last podcast, and there was the other guy that I was talking to, so this guy was a bit of a rebound,
was a
but
mess.
he's gorgeous. Like, this man is gorgeous, but he's a shit show. He's a piece of shit. Fucking hell. Fucking cut the video. Like, I think that should be the fucking end of the pod.
Cut that there. That's it.
Beep up, bitches.
Bitches.
5 fun bitches. A special announcement coming next pod. Special secret
I'll
announcement.
bring that back next pod, okay?
We do have a special announcement though. We're gonna keep it to us for now. All right.
Okay, bye.